Hello everybody, my name is Starrapter and welcome to the channel. I've survived another New York Comic Con. I'm well rested and ready to tell you guys about the latest in the Star Wars comics, books, and more. We have two new comics to talk about this week. The first one is a brand new series. This is the Han Solo, a Star Wars story comic adaptation. This is issue number 1 and it's an extra large issue, being it is the first issue. So we pick up slightly a few minutes before we pick up with Han in the movie, and it kind of goes along with what the novelization did. It tells about the little bit of a botched attempt for Han to get that coaxium for himself, and it shows why he got beat up and why he was running to the speeder in the beginning of the movie. And it goes all the way to the point where we meet Chewbacca. So it has a large expanse of time that we cover in this single issue. What really excites me is it seems like it's really much in line with what they did for the Rogue One adaptation, as far as really padding out the story with lots of things we didn't see in the movie, such as Han Solo's early adventures in the Imperial Academy as a pilot, and it shows that he actually stole a TIE Fighter, about how he actually modified his TIE Fighter to go faster. So it gives us a little bit more of that backstory about, you know, why he learned how to modify the famous Millennium Falcon. So I really enjoyed that. I cannot wait to see more of that kind of expanded material while reading this miniseries. Another thing that really excited me was the artwork was really good in this issue. I think they got the likenesses of Kira and Han down. I loved seeing all the speeder chase stuff from different angles. You really felt like you're with the characters in there, and just the overall feel of this was very much as I experienced the film. So very good issue number 1. I cannot wait for issue number 2. Next up, it is the month of October, and we are getting from IDW the Tales from Vader's Castle. So this week we have issue number 2, which is Count Dooku, Prince of Darkness. So this is kind of a Star Wars spin on Count Dracula. So what we have here is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Adagallia, as well as Commander Cody, going down to this planet and finding out things aren't exactly as planned or as you think they could be, because, well, there is some serious stuff going on with this Dark Lord over this town. Things are not going good. You have this like gigantic Mynock which is terrorizing people. We later find out that Count Dooku is actually kind of working with this vampire bat until it actually bites him and it turns him into a vampire. Then he goes head to head with this Mynock vampire thing until Dooku eventually tries to get out of there. Then we have our heroes using the Force to collapse this temple that this Mynock thing is living in, to keep it there forever. And then once that thing is defeated, everybody goes back to their former selves. So I'm not really sure if this is canon, but however, it is just a very fun story. I did really like seeing more Clone Wars content. First off, it's great seeing this Clone Wars content with Adagallia. She was a Jedi Starfighter pilot and part of the Jedi Council. It was nice seeing Commander Cody as well. I love the clones, and it was, you know, cool seeing Obi-Wan Kenobi in action against these forces of evil. I also did really like the mention of the brother of our lead character Lena, who is on Mustafar. Remember, this is a retelling of another story. It's like a tall tale, so we do not know if it's true or not. And she was mentioning her brother Milo, who is actually part of the Rebel Alliance, because she mentions that he was the one that sent her on this mission, and he would be interested in the wildlife on this planet, the fauna. He was always interested about that in the Adventures of Wild Space novels, which I've read. And, you know, it's pretty cool seeing that there's actually lava fleas in this story, because I remember they were in, I think, the Revenge of the Sith video game, maybe, or something or another. No, it was in Star Wars Galaxies. You can get a rideable lava flea. So seeing them in this kind of brought back some nostalgia. So pretty cool. So yeah, we have 3 more issues of this really fun miniseries coming down the line. So as I mentioned off the top of the show, I was at New York Comic Con and it was filled with Star Wars panels. I went to 4 out of the 5. So the first one I went to was Star Wars Women of the Galaxy. They actually released the book early. It has pretty much like 75 female characters, gives you a quick rundown, and it has such awesome artwork. There's like, I think, over 6 or 7 different artists at least in this one. And the really cool thing is there's actually even some characters, I believe, that are in novels that have never been seen before depicted. So I think we're going to get some cool stuff there with some reveals of what they actually look like, which is fascinating. Another thing that was announced was we had the Age of Rebellion, Age of Republic, Age of Resistance comics announced already. They did go into some detail about certain character issues because they're basically going to be like one-shots. So we had the one writer of Age of Rebellion, his name's Greg Pak, and he was talking about the Leia one, and it has me super excited because it takes place after the events of that Forces of Destiny short where she gets the armor for Boushh, where we then see her in Return of the Jedi. So that issue that he's coming out with is going to have her trying to get used to the armor, trying to build up that tough persona that we see her entering in as a badass in Return of the Jedi. I love those stories that are set between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi because I love Shadows of the Empire, and I feel like we aren't getting enough of that content to really spread that gap. So every time I see a story that's going to be planned or is in that era, I love it. Another thing that we had announced is the Shadow of Vader miniseries by Chuck Wendig. It's going to be about characters retelling about their fates with Vader, about what different things happen. There's going to be a Wilro Hood, that guy with the ice cream maker from Empire Strikes Back. He's going to have a story. What really excites me is a connection to the Acolytes of the Beyond from Chuck Wendig's own Star Wars Aftermath. There's going to be a story that has to do with Vader and that, as well as a story that has to deal with bloodline and about somebody knowing about Leia and about her father being Vader. So I love to see some of those more sequel era stories for sure because I can't get enough of them. Speaking of Vader, there was an unfortunate announcement that with Vader issue number 25 of the current ongoing series, Charles Soules and Giuseppe Camicoli's issue or series, it is now ending with issue number 25. They said it's been planned like that from the beginning. They're not canceling it. It's just their story is going to be told. So very sad because you guys, if you watch these videos, know how much I freaking love those comics. They're excellent. If you aren't reading them, you gotta pick them up. I always recommend them for everybody starting Star Wars comics to pick them up first because they are the coolest ones. And we got one announcement that I didn't expect. It's for a brand new novel coming out next year. This one is called Alphabet Squadron. This is going to be written by Alexander Freed, who wrote the Battlefront Twilight Company, which I feel like is a very overlooked book. I feel like not enough people have read it. I really much enjoyed that story, so I feel like he's going to do a great job. What it's about is a squadron of a B-Wing, a U-Wing, an X-Wing, an A-Wing, and a Y-Wing. So you got 5 different ships, and they are actually going to be the hunters of the remnants of the Empire. So for once, the Rebellion's not on the run. This is after the events, I'm guessing, of maybe Battle of Jakku. I'm not sure exactly what time period, but it is after Return of the Jedi, and they're going to be hunting down these Imperial holdouts. So cannot wait for that one. So that was New York Comic Con 2018. There was a couple other panels that didn't really have anything to relate with canon, which is okay because I still enjoyed the panels. It was nice being in rooms full of Star Wars fans. Like we had the Star Wars, Our Star Wars Stories, which is that documentary which I highly recommend watching. It's very moving and it gives a great outlook on the different kinds of fandom that we have throughout all of us as Star Wars fans. There was also the celebration of the female writers of Star Wars. That was another great one that I really much enjoyed because it had writers of things like Phasma as well as the other books and stuff that are source books and Lando's Luck. So lots of cool stuff there. So overall, very good time. I did miss the Hasbro panel, which is unfortunate because it always seems like it's during something else and I always pick something after it because I feel like, oh, I'll just watch the images as they come up online. But I'm sure they do a really entertaining panel as well. So that is going to do it for me, Starrapter. What did you guys think of all the reveals that we got from New York Comic Con? What are you most excited for? And what did you think of this week's new comics from Tales of Vader's Castle as well as the Solo adaptation? Let's talk about it in that comment section below. I have tons of New York Comic Con footage and videos up on the YouTube channel now. I'm still going to release more, so make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out on any of that content. With that being said, my name is Starrapter, and may the Force be with you always. Thanks for checking out the video. Please hit that thumbs up symbol. It helps me know that I'm making content that you guys enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, I also include 2 videos down below you guys should check out. And please consider subscribing to this channel. It helps support me and it notifies you guys of when I get new videos up on the channel. You can also contact me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Starrapter.